In this video, I'm gonna break down to you the top 10 reasons why everybody is leaving California and why you should too. If you're still living in California, get the hell out of there. Okay, number one, it's got the most expensive cost of living in the United States. If you wanna buy a home in California, it's gonna cost you $785,000 on average. San Francisco is $1.3 million to go walk on a bunch of human feces and a bunch of needles to live in the beautiful state of California. Gas prices, it's 50% more than the national average just for the privilege of driving in California. That's all about taxes. California has the highest state income tax in the United States of America. You pay over 12.3% if you make over $625,000 per year. It's the highest tax state for high earners, period. Property taxes. Even though the taxes are capped at 1% of the property value, because the property value is so high, the taxes are high. You got $1 million property, you're paying $10,000 per year. Average property in California, $785,000. Average tax bill, $7,850. Gas tax. You pay 54 cents per gallon to Gavin Newsom and his cronies to drive your car. It's the absolute highest cost in the nation. Number two, commuting. Okay, your most valuable asset in life is time. Californians on average spend 54 hours in their car per year commuting. Based on the NREX 2023 statistics, just that time in the car has cost California over $15.3 billion. And let's break it down. How does that break down to your pocketbook? On average, an average California loses over $1,000 a year in like gas, maintenance, everything. Numero tres, number three. Well, if you didn't have taxes and all that good stuff to talk about, what about crime and homelessness? In 2023, violent crime rose by 6.1%, but it gets better. Property crime, that means like your car, your house, that's risen 18%. In San Francisco alone, there's over 50,000 car break-ins per year. But let's not forget our good old homeless people. California has hundreds of thousands of homeless people. According to my statistics, in 2023, there was 173,000, but I think it's more like 500,000 people because they can't measure all the homeless people. None of the homeless people that go and say, hey, I'm homeless. But good news for you is if you don't live in California, California accounts for over 25% of the entire United States homeless population. In 2023, the homeless population in LA County rose by over 12%. Number four, illegal immigration issues. The reason why you're paying a lot of money to live in California, I'm sure of it, is because you want to take care of illegal immigrants. And that's why the state of California spends over $1.1 billion subsidizing illegal immigrants with healthcare and other things. The $1.1 billion is just on healthcare alone for illegal immigrants who don't have a right to healthcare. But California says they do, you don't. But let's not forget, you're not as valuable as somebody who immigrated to the United States, and specifically California, illegally. They have introduced laws. If you're undocumented, you can get a driver's license, state-funded healthcare, and state tuition. If you immigrated here illegally, my suggestion is move to California. And if you live in California, get the hell out of there. Number five, the education system is in the dumps. And only 30% of the students in California meet the state's standard for math proficiency. And only 45% meet reading standards. And there's tons of teacher shortages in California because nobody wants to teach there. In 2023 alone, they estimate there's a shortage of 20,000 teachers. That means there's so many students per teacher. To combat that, even some school districts have offered $20,000 signing bonuses, but still nobody wants to do it. Number six, businesses are leaving California, therefore jobs are leaving California, therefore it has slow job growth and economic barriers for businesses. The job market sucks. California is lagging behind the national average with a 0.7% growth rate from 2010 to 2020. And that is from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. Everybody is leaving California who owns a business because of their stupid laws that are overburdensome, highly regulated, and nobody wants to deal with. Since 2018, over 441 businesses, large businesses, not like mom and pa's, have left California. Tesla, SpaceX, Oracle, those companies are moving to places like Nevada and Texas due to lower regulations and less taxes. And that just contributes more to California's economic decline. That has a huge impact on you if you live in California as an employee. As businesses move, if you got a good job, you're gonna follow that job. For instance, Tesla's move to Texas led to thousands of people moving from Fremont, California to Austin, Texas. Numero 7, overregulation. The compliance cost, like trying to get everything right with the state without going to jail from some stupid regulation, it's just crazy. So good news is if you're a businessman in California, you only have 400,000 pages of regulations that you've got to navigate through in order to be compliant. So if you got some time, go read the 400,000 pages. And what's that doing for small businesses? It's shutting them down because it's no possible way that a small business can be compliant with 400,000 pages of regulation. In the past decade alone, there's been a 6% decline in new business creation in California. California's strict labor laws, including mandatory paid family leave, have made it hard for businesses to operate. And all of these environmental regulations also make it hard for businesses to operate, particularly in manufacturing and tech sectors. Number 8, pollution and environmental challenges. Despite of all these stupid regulations, they still got a ton of pollution. The air quality sucks. It's absolutely the worst in the US. Like there's smog everywhere. LA ranks as one of the cities with the highest level of air pollution. Check this out. Among 90% of California residents, yes, you, if you live in California, live in an area that exceeds federal air quality standards, courtesy of the American Lung Association website. The number 9th reason to leave California is they do not know how to control forest fires. If you haven't figured out, they are basically taking the water from the north, from Canada, from Oregon, from Washington, and they're diverting it into the Pacific Ocean to save the smelt fish. Gavin Newsom, because of environmental issues, because of the environmental lobbyists, they have refused to do controlled burns and forest fires. They have refused to fill up the fire hydrants. They have the most diverse fire department, which is run by a bunch of DEI hires, aka people that are unqualified. If you look at the fitness of the Christians, they all went to Harvard. What the hell is a fire department chief going to Harvard for to fight fires? Somebody that doesn't even look like they can climb up with a ladder without a freaking oxygen mask. California is burning to the ground right now because of Gavin Newsom, because of the California politics, because of people that don't care about forest fires. They care about using you as pawns, as political pawns, as they help smelt fish, as they blow up dams to save rivers versus save your life. Your house is burning in the Palisades. Your house is burning in Malibu. And then on top of all that, State Farm stops insuring people's houses in California right before this happens, and the whole place burns down, and it's an arson and all of these things. And then on top of it, the governor comes in with Joe Biden to talk about his grandkid and being a great grandpa. And why aren't you grabbing water from the Pacific Ocean and dumping it on these fires? Because you're worried about the salt water hurting the dirt? Instead, we have a political chess match of saying, let's include the fat fire chief who can't get up a freaking ladder. Let's make those fatties the biggest part of our fire department rather than the most qualified. Adam Carolla waited 7 years to get on the fire department in LA. He couldn't get hired on the fire department because he was a white guy. He got in line 7 years later and he asked the lady behind him, an African-American woman, how long you been waiting? She goes, I applied on Wednesday. He's been waiting 7 years. And that's why it's burning down to the ground. And that's why you need to get the hell out of California today. If your house burned down, I'm very sorry it happened. Move to the Midwest. We got lots of snow, not lots of fires. Finally, number 10, and this is the one you've been waiting for. Gavin Newsom. His leadership and policies have driven this state into the brink of exodus. And they've led to many of the problems that we're talking about right now. His ineptitude to pass laws that actually help out the people. Like he spent over $50 billion on homeless people, and you still have the biggest homeless population. He's had scandals like going after his best friend's wife's. Oh, and let's not forget how he dealt with COVID-19. You remember the old French Laundry outfit? He actually locked everybody down, said, don't go anywhere, put on your mask, stay home, social distances, I'm going out with my friends. And this spiked a recall election, but I'm sure he rigged it so he didn't get recalled. But let's go to California Propositions and Policies by yours truly, Gavin Newsom. Newsom has supported several propositions leading to a lot of the issues that you're hearing right here in this video. For example, Proposition 47 in 2014. Let's let all of the violent criminals out, reduce their penalties, and let them out on the streets. You heard our other statistics about violent crime and petty crime. That's what happens. Proposition 57 in 2016 allowed the early release of prisoners, and that creates more crime. The housing crisis. Despite Newsom's promises to solve the housing crisis, they still have a deficit of over 3.5 million homes, largely due to his inability to fix the zoning laws and the housing regulations. In conclusion, California now sucks. If you're still living there, why? Why would you live there? If your family's there, get them the hell out of there. It's no longer good. And if you're gonna stay there, vote this guy out. If you're gonna be one of those people who says, oh, I grew up here, my dad was from there, my place is there, don't be the last person standing in California. The world's a great place. I promise you, your money's gonna go farther in the Midwest. Your money's gonna go farther in other places, Florida, in Mississippi, all these other places. The world is fresh. I suggest leave California right now. Make sure you give us a like, a thumbs up, and hit the notifications button, and we'll see you on the next side. Peace.